Simon C. Ramo is an American engineer, business leader and author. He led development of microwave and missile technology and is sometimes known as the father of the intercontinental ballistic missile. He also developed General Electric's electron microscope. He has been partly responsible for the creation of two Fortune 500 companies, Ramo Wooldridge and Bunker Ramo. Early years. Ramo was born in Salt Lake City, Utah, and is of Ashkenazi descent. He entered the University of Utah at the age of 16, and earned a B.S. in electrical engineering at the age of 20. By 1936, at the age of 23, he had earned dual Ph.D. degrees from Caltech in physics and electrical engineering. Career: General Electric. From 1936 until 1946, he led electronics research at General Electric, where he accumulated 25 patents before the age of 30 and was cited as one of America's most outstanding young electrical engineers. He became globally recognized as a leader in microwave research and headed the development of GE's electron microscope. Hughes Aircraft. In 1946, he returned to California to become Director of Research for the Electronics Department of Hughes Aircraft, and his career became coupled with that of Dean Wooldridge. Together they formed a successful team for many years, with Wooldridge concentrating on investment and general business aspects while Ramo led research, development and engineering. By 1948, Hughes had created its aerospace group to work with the newly created U.S. Air Force. Dr. Ramo became a vice president and the group's director of operations. Ramo employed his skills in systems engineering to allow Hughes to deliver integrated radar and aircraft fire control systems. He developed the air-to-air missile, creating the Falcon Missile. In 1953, Ramo and Dean Wooldridge left Hughes Aircraft and formed the Ramo Wooldridge Corporation, later TRW Inc. Ramo Wooldridge Corporation. By 1953, Ramo and the Air Force had become increasingly frustrated with management problems at Hughes. Ramo and Wooldridge were particularly concerned when Howard Hughes avoided their attempts to discuss the problem. In September they jointly resigned, and within a week they formed the Ramo Wooldridge Corporation on September 16, 1953. In October 1953, an Assistant Secretary of Defense, Trevor Gardner, created a committee to consider the future of guided missiles. This Strategic Missile Evaluation Committee was headed by John von Neumann and included both Ramo and Wooldridge. In 4 months, the committee produced their report and recommended that a crash program was needed to develop intercontinental ballistic missiles, and that such a program might enable the United States to overtake Russian developments by 1959-1960. The Ramo Wooldridge Corp. Became the lead contractor for the resulting Air Force program. With Dr. Ramo as the driving scientific and engineering officer, they succeeded. In 1958, an Atlas rocket delivered a payload 5,000 miles downrange. The Atlas would go on to serve as the launch vehicle for NASA's Project Mercury orbital flights, starting with John Glenn in Friendship 7. USAF General Bernard Schriever, head of the ICBM program, described Ramo as the architect of the Thor, Atlas, and Titan rockets. According to a July 30, 2002 article, Ramo's comments are legendary for capsulizing complex ideas into off-the-cuff witticisms. During a series of key experiments of ballistic missiles in the 1950s at Cape Canaveral, Florida, at which Ramo and Air Force General Bernard Schriever were observers, test rockets kept blowing up on their launch pads. When one missile rose about 6 inches before toppling over and exploding, Ramo reportedly beamed and said, "Well, Benny, now that we know the thing can fly, all we have to do is improve its range a bit." Ramo Wooldridge merged with Thompson Products to become TRW, and Simon Ramo became vice chairman. In 1964, TRW and Martin Marietta formed the jointly owned Bunker Ramo Corporation with Ramo as president. which expanded into the computer and communications technology fields. In January 2008, he joined the faculty of the University of Southern California's Viterbi School of Engineering as a presidential chair and professor of electrical engineering. Ramo is also a founding member of the National Academy of Engineering. Awards, appointments and fellowships. During his long and successful career, Ramo has received numerous awards and fellowships. He has been honored by the American Philosophical Society, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, the American Physical Society, and the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. Ramo has served as an advisor to the United States government on science and technology. He has been a member of the National Science Board, the White House Council on Energy R&D, the Advisory Council to the Secretary of Commerce, the Advisory Council to the Secretary of State for Science and Foreign Affairs, and of many special advisory committees to the Defense Department and NASA. President Gerald Ford appointed Ramo as co-chairman of a committee of distinguished scientists and engineers, requesting Ramo to list the science and technology issues most deserving of attention by the White House and to recommend actions. Following this, Ramo was appointed by President Ford to be chairman of the President's Advisory Committee on Science and Technology, a position created by Congress to advise on how to ensure that science and technology matters receive proper attention at the White House. In 1980, then-President-elect Ronald Reagan asked Ramo to assemble a transition task force to advise on executive branch appointments where science and technology background was desirable. President Reagan subsequently invited Ramo to be a science advisor to the President of the Republic of China. In that assignment, Ramo aided greatly Taiwan's development of a strong high-technology industry. On February 23, 1983, Ramo was presented with the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Reagan. In 1982, the IEEE Board of Directors initiated the IEEE Simon Ramo Medal for exceptional achievement in systems engineering and systems science. In 2007, the Space Foundation awarded Ramo its highest honor, the General James E. Hill Lifetime Space Achievement Award. Additional awards: Founders Medal, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, John Fritz Medal, American Association of Engineering Societies, Medal of Honor, Electronics Industries Association, Kagan Medal, Columbia University, Henry Heald Award, Illinois Institute of Technology, Annual Award, Harvard Business School, American Academy of Achievement Award, Distinguished Service Medal, Armed Forces Communication and Electronics Association, Delmer S. Farney Medal, Aesculapian Award, UCLA School of Medicine, Durand Medal, Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics, Space and Missile Pioneer Award, U.S. Air Force, Pioneer Award, International Council on Systems Engineering, Howard Hughes Memorial Award, Distinguished Alumnus Award, University of Utah, National Trophy for Lifetime Achievement, Smithsonian Institution, NASA Distinguished Public Service Medal, University of Southern California Presidential Medallion, Space Foundation General James E. Hill Lifetime Space Achievement Award, Junior Achievement U.S. Business Hall of Fame inductee. Ramo has received numerous patents, including one at age 100 concerning the use of technology in education, making him the oldest American to have a U.S. patent. Publications: Ramo has authored dozens of books on topics ranging from science textbooks, corporate and technology management, society's relation to technology, economy, and how to play tennis. A selection: Fields and Waves in Modern Radio by Simon Ramo and John R. Winery. Introduction to Microwaves. Peacetime Uses of Space. Fields and Waves in Communication Electronics. Extraordinary Tennis for the Ordinary Player. The Islands of E. Kono and Mai. America's Technology Slip. The management of innovative technological corporations. What's wrong with our technological society and how to fix it? Tennis by Machiavelli. The business of science. Winning and losing in the high-tech age. Meetings, and more meetings. Getting things done when people are involved. Strategic business forecasting. A structured approach to shaping the future of your business by Dr. Simon Ramo and Dr. Ronald Sugar. Tales from the Top. How CEOs act and react. To wit, a sense of humor, a mandatory tool of management. Let robots do the dying. Guided missile engineering. University of California Engineering Extension Series by Alan E. Puckett and Simon Ramo. About Simon Ramo. Stephen B. Johnson, The Secret of Apollo. Systems Management in American and European Space Programs 2002, The Johns Hopkins University Press. Davis Dyer, TRW. Pioneering Technology and Innovation since 1900-1998, Harvard Business School Press. G. Harry Stein, ICBM 1991, Orion Books. Ernest Schwiebert, History of the U.S. Air Force Ballistic Missiles 1965, Prager publishes. Personal life. Ramo was married to Virginia from 1937 until her death in 2009. They have 2 sons, James Bryan and Alan Martin, 4 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren.